Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. How are you? What an incredible twist of events yesterday with GameStop and that Roaring Kitty post. What time that come through? 12:45 yesterday. Note the time, 60 minutes, 9 seconds, 69, 420. Not sure what that means, but let's drill into some of that. Let's take a look at that daily chart. We'll jump into some of the option flow as we take a look. I'll try to make this brief for you so you can catch it this morning before the market opened. These were some of the levels we identified. We talked earlier this week about with earnings next Tuesday, some consolidation with lower volume. Boom. And then all of a sudden we had a catalyst with a Roaring Kitty post yesterday and about 41 million shares traded. Now, we saw some of those levels we saw the day before on December 3rd, the low of 26.49, kind of one of those areas we identified that we were watching, the 27.83, the high on the 4th on Wednesday, and then yesterday was just a nice explosion. We saw that high of 30.87, and immediately after that post went out, the stock did halt up immediately, roughly about 11%. So we were still tracking. Let's pull up some of those moving averages real quick. We were still tracking, aside from yesterday's excitement, we were still tracking in regard to that year-to-date average, volume-weighted average price at 27.27. So that was kind of where we were at in that regard, with the 9-day EMA at 28.13 and the 21-day at 27.12. You can see those up in the top left corner there. Take a look at those there. So we'll see what today brings. But let's look into some of that option activity, because we had originally talked, about where was the price going. We saw that high of 32.12 and 31, and then about a 20% drawdown there between the 32.12 and the 26. And then boom, Roaring Kitty pops back up and kind of got everybody excited. But let's take a look actually at the option flow, because net call premium kind of sold off into the afternoon right around the time Roaring Kitty jumped onto the scene. Net call premium did explode and moved all the way up to about, let's see here, I think it was about 2.5, almost 3 mil, and then did sell off a little bit and then sold off into the close as GameStop slipped back down from around, the 30, 31 it was at to around the high 28, 28.61. So we saw some of that flow. Premium yesterday, albeit, was about 93 mil, but net premium was negative 1.7 mil. So we can take a look here. I'll let you zoom in, or I'll zoom in, let you take a pause there. You can see some of the highest volume on the contracts was sent around $30 calls for today, $28 calls for today, $35 for today, and $40, $30 for next week. And we're going to highlight some of these. Historically, though, the premium yesterday at 93 million, pretty large day. I think, like I said, a lot of that driven with the Roaring Kitty post, and that came into play. But let's take a look at actually some of that money. Where was the money of yesterday? Where was that premium at? So we're going to pull up and take a look at the hottest contracts. I've shared that in the past where it was sort the hottest contracts by premium. So that's what we're going to do here. We're using unusual whales. We always like to use that data, provides us real-time accurate market data. Every order is filled on a lit exchange, and we can see that, which is really great with Unusual Whales. There is a link on my profile, so if you would like to sign up for Unusual Whales, you can. No strings attached. You just use my link and get a discount. That's why I wanted to mention it. So let's see here. On the 30s, we saw yesterday 60,000 volume, but there was only 18,000 open interest. You think, oh, wow, that's good. In the moment, again, those were split between the bid and the ask. So we saw 27,000, we'll just call it roughly 28,000 bid yesterday, 29,000 asked. So both a combination of buyers and sellers. We can see when those actually came in, because there were some fills, there was some activity on those $30 calls that expired today, for $5, $6, and they did surge all the way to $150 almost with that first initial wave of volatility before slipping back down to $51. So there was about 6 million in total premium there yesterday, buying and selling. So like I said, you see that low and then the surge. And then as for today, though, you see 60,000 volume, only about 5,200 appeared in new open interest. So not a lot of new open interest, definitely some buying and selling during that bout of volatility, especially on the short dated. Now let's take a look at the $30 calls for next week, because again, there was about 5 million total premium, but they were again split between the bid and the ask, about 10,000 at the bid, 8,000 at the ask. Sure, these got alerted yesterday at Unusual Whales when they broke 287. and they were filling earlier in the morning for about $100. So they went from 100 to about $300 before. Let's see, 320 before the close. So 100 to 320 on something with just a week expiry, not bad. Wasn't not a bad move there. But as the volatility adjusted and changed, and so did the price, so did the option. Obviously, the premium goes up and the premium goes down. So you always want to be careful with that. You want to make sure that, you don't get stuck buying at the top, especially on something on a short dated expiry. Just always be careful with that volatility. I hate to see people come in here at the top. I'd rather see it catch the move, but I understand the momentum, the hype that was driven. 20,000 volume yesterday on those. About 4,000 appeared in new open interest today, and that's for $30 calls that expire next week. So the other ones were 30s for January. I did note those as well. Let's pull up some of that activity. So there's about 4 million total premium yesterday. Now 9,000 volume, and about 30% almost of that showed up. 2,800 appeared new open interest. So open interest now at 31,913. Now again, a little bit more bid volume yesterday than the asks. So you can see where there was some profit taking as these calls went up, because some of those were filling around, let's see, $288, $290, and then did surge to a high of 572. So pretty remarkable intraday trade if you were in that particular option. Maybe you bought some in the morning, maybe you bought some here at 332, and you took some profits. So you can definitely tell with these larger candles, definitely some bid side indicating selling activity, whether that was selling covered calls, whether that was taking profits. But let's take a look at the other one here. So you can see here, I'll let you, if you want to pause that, you can see the top contracts here by premium. Here's your premium column here. I'll let you pause that if you want. Take a screenshot. You can look at it later. It might speed it along there. And then the $30 calls for the monthlies for December 20th also saw 10,000 volume, but not much carried over in open interest. So albeit 3 million total premium yesterday, but note again here the bid volume 4,800, the ask volume 4,200. So it's a combination of buyers and sellers, people buying, people selling, taking profit, etc. Because those were filling around $130, did surge all the way up to, let's see, 400-ish, yeah, almost 400. Before slipping back down to around 250. So definitely a very wide range there with that volatility. So something you want to be careful of. Granted, these have a little bit more time, 2 weeks to expiry, but always something to be cautious of when that volatility goes up. That can spike the premium, and you don't want to get caught buying up here and then get faded. You'd rather be, maybe catch the move here, trim, take your profits, be gone. There's multiple ways to handle that. But, manage your own risk. Do what is best for you. And $28 calls for this week. Did see some activity, 21,000 volume. See the premium about 2.4 mil. And some buyers and sellers all day. I would assume, some sellers here. The $28 calls, maybe selling some calls in the morning and then maybe had to buy some back. Also some profit taking, because those were filling around $12 in the afternoon, and then did see a high of almost $300. So pretty incredible move on a short dated in the money call there. So very exciting as the volatility was 89% Thursday and then jumped to about 140% yesterday. So definitely contributed there to that spike in premium. And then the $40 calls also for January, more out of the money, about 37% out of the money, but did see some premium, 2.2 mil, but we didn't see any of that volume of the 7,500. None of it appeared new open interest today. So a combination of buyers and sellers. If you look at the bid volume, a little bit more bid than ask. So these contracts will trade hands just because you have buyers. They trade hands, and the open interest may change, may not change in that regard. So there's some information on unusual whales. You can read more about open interest and those type of changes, and I would encourage you to do so as well, just to take a look at that. But when we look at actually like the open interest, what changed in regards to yesterday's activities. Let's pull up GameStop here just so we can get the most accurate information ahead of the market open here. I know I'm more bad on the timing trying to get this to you ahead of the market open. $100 calls for January. Seems some more sellers there and buyers. $30 calls was the highest, 5,200 new OI. 35s for this week. Those are out of the money. Let's see, 35s. Yeah, some open interest did appear, but I mean, those were filling at $2. They did go up to $60, but then went back down to 20 due to volatility, and they expire today, and they're out of money. So definitely be cautious with that. But there are your open interest changes there, your largest ones, and your largest decreases to open interest. The 28s and 25s and 40s. So definitely some profit taking. Some money came off the table. Let's take a look here, though, and flip on some pre-market data. So you can take a look at price this morning, 29.24. Let's see, high 29.61. Okay, pre-market. I was just taking a look at the pre-market data there on my chart. But yeah, I just wanted to give you that little update on the option flow, what we saw in regard to that, in regard to like the net flow, the option premium. Where was the money actually being spent yesterday? Did we see a lot up here in new open interest? Did we see anything that was really directional or stand out? No, we did not in that regard. Now, earnings are next Tuesday and after hours. Now, as of right now, options market is pricing in a 13.63% move. So that's up or down about $4. So $4 move roughly coming according to the options market for GameStop following earnings next week. So we'll definitely watch it today. I'll put out a video hopefully Monday ahead of the market. That way I can take a look at what open interest will basically we'll be able to look at the data from today, then see the open interest changes for next week. As we gear up to earnings, we'll offer a little more options coverage in that regard. But yeah, if you guys like the videos, let me know down below. If you watched it all the way through, you're a legend. Just leave me the comment down below or just reply to this post. Just reply you. And then I'll know you watched the video all the way through and that you value the education. Time is money, and I understand that. So try to keep it brief for you. But happy Friday. Trade your plan. Manage your risk. Nobody can do it for you. Be cautious out there, but have fun. I just want to see others lose less and win a little bit more. You guys, hopefully, will have an incredible day, and I'll see you around the internet.